Hey everyone, me Kevin here, coming to you from a delicious little juicy little spa here, but this is not my OnlyFans, so I can't take my shirt off. In this video, we're going to talk about Elon Musk. Got to keep it professional. We're going to talk about what Elon Musk mentioned over the last couple days, a lot of different things, and I'm going to give you my opinion on some of these things as well. So we'll try to keep this concise and give you as much information as possible, as quickly as possible. So let's hop right into it. Look, on the Twitter front, Elon Musk has been confronted with the idea of why don't you just make your own platform, kind of like a Truth Social, right? And Elon Musk agreed and responded on Twitter that he could probably create a Twitter competitor for less than $1 billion. I mean, that's a lot of money if you're making a startup tech company, right? Like, that's some pretty bitchin' funding, honestly. But Elon Musk mentions that Twitter currently is, in his opinion, the least bad public square. And he thinks he can really improve Twitter by just, honestly, getting started by getting rid of the bots and scammers and the unverified people trying to rip people off. Verify humans is going to be one of the priorities for Elon Musk. And he believes that Twitter needs to have an even bias. And I think this is really neat because right now, obviously, at least the impression is that Twitter has a pretty left bias. This is why Elon Musk wants to restore Donald Trump's access to Twitter. So that way, individuals who are on one side of the political spectrum don't believe they're alienated or have to self-censor what they're saying. If somebody says something wrong in a public square, then let other people debate them. But we don't need, like, the Ministry of Truth coming in, editing people's tweets or banning people, because that's the last thing we want, because then all of a sudden that makes you think, okay, maybe our speech isn't as free as we really thought it is. So Elon believes that you kind of have to make the far 10% and the far left 10% and the far right 10% equally unhappy, and everybody else as happy as possible and as free as possible, in accordance, obviously, with the law. Now, Elon, in his interview with the Financial Times, was asked, well, hey, how's this whole thing going to affect commercially Tesla? And he says, look, we're going to sell all the cars we can make. In fact, we have so much demand for cars that we're actually thinking about pausing reservations on new vehicles because it doesn't make sense for people to have to wait for more than a year. This, ironically, is like a genius marketing move because it's already led to a lot of commentary from individuals that's it. I'm going out and reserving my Tesla now, even if it takes me a year. I just want to be on the list because I don't want to get cut off. I'm seeing a lot of that kind of anecdotal evidence, right? So it could be a really interesting boost in a quarter where Shanghai production has really slowed down production for Tesla, like substantially, but could be a boost of sort of those wait times, which would be a positive indicator to investors, of course. Now, Elon Musk was asked how confident is he that the acquisition is going to happen. He says, look, it's not a done deal. Best case scenario, 2 to 3 months. A lot of special purpose vehicles being created to get people into the Twitter deal. Whether or not the Twitter deal happens is a big deal, though, because if it does happen and you're part of some sort of special purpose entity to get in, then yeah, I mean, a lot of people are hoping it's going to be an easy double or triple in a few years. But if the deal doesn't go through, the stock probably drops to like $25. So, I think it's just going to follow the Nasdaq's path, and based on its beta, would take it honestly down past even under $30. Now, Elon Musk was asked about, are you able to make 20 million vehicles per year? And Elon Musk mentioned, look, that is an aspiration, not a promise, but yeah, that's an aspiration of Tesla to make 20 million vehicles per year. And what's wild is Tesla's really blowing everybody out of the water. I mean, all of the EV competition is having ridiculous amounts of challenges, and this doesn't mean that Tesla is challenge-free, but they're killing it, especially compared to the likes of Rivian, Lucid, the only two with any substantial market cap left. A lot of the other companies have lost so much market value. Even companies that I like NIO, but then look at like Lordstown or Workhorse, it's just devastating. Now, Elon believes... Oh, quick note before I forget. If you want a totally free stock, make sure to sign up for Public. You can get a free stock worth all the way up to $1,000. And Public is great because they don't take money from payment for order flow. Standard stock trades are commission-free. And they're a social platform where you can see other people's trades they actually make. So it's transparent. It's really cool. All you have to do is go to public.com/meetkevin. You'll receive a totally free stock valued up to $1,000 once you open an account and make a deposit. Really cool. So once again, go to public.com/meetkevin. Receive a totally free stock worth up to $1,000 once you open an account and make a deposit. Check him out, public.com/meetkevin. That Tesla is going to be a huge innovator for batteries and solar and clean energy for the Earth. And ultimately, he believes that the entire Earth could be powered by the sun's energy, solely by the sun's energy and wind for the times that we don't have the sun's energy. But batteries, wind, the sun can fully cover the Earth's energy. Even if the Earth was 10 times to 100 times larger, Elon says on Twitter, sun and wind is enough. And so really, if you think about it, Tesla is an investment into solar, batteries, electric vehicles, probably an electric Optimus robot, unless for some reason Elon goes with a gas robot. Doubt it. Kidding. Anyway, now, regarding the next goals for SpaceX, he mentions that the goal is to get the first Starship launch done within the next 2 or 3 months. And then he mentions the window to Mars is only about every 2 years, so maybe a test flight within 2 or 3 months. Every 2 years, you have a sort of a window to fly a crew potentially to Mars, but we're probably still about 8 years away from actually being able to do that. Elon then talks a little bit about manufacturing, which we've heard before. What's the most difficult part? It's not prototypes. It's manufacturing. We already know that. Are you planning to build a plant in Indonesia or the UK? Elon Musk to this says no, but obviously we're expanding the Shanghai facility with an additional now potential capacity of an extra 426,000 vehicles per year, which is quite wild. Really, really cool. Then there was a question about, hey, what about the people who have died, driving Tesla on Autopilot? Is that worth the price? Or, are people's lives worth the price, essentially, of creating artificial intelligence? And Elon here kind of brushes this off and mentions, look, you still need to supervise your car. It's a beta when it's full self-driving, and the earlier versions were not even full self-driving. They were just sort of autopilot, right, with some tools that help you. It's kind of like how planes have autopilot, but they don't have no pilot, right? They still have a pilot. Elon's approach, obviously, for mass market, affordable markets, he's really into cars, not a big fan of scooters. He's also not a fan of hydrogen, really despises the idea of hydrogen, not interested in really talking about any more details he mentions, but definitely open to the idea of a smaller car for Tesla. Then he talks about the potential licensing of full self-driving, which he actually believes will save lives, not cost lives. So he kind of turns that argument around. But we've heard that before. In the future, that would make a lot of sense. I mean, this is, after all, what NVIDIA and Qualcomm are trying to do, and they're trying to come up with their own full self-driving architectures so that they can then license that out, right? That obviously would be another revenue stream for Tesla, which, quite frankly, would be pretty much probably 90% profit. I mean, that's huge. If cars are 30% gross profit, full self-driving could be 90% gross profit. I mean, absolutely insane. And that's one of the things that I think markets don't understand is Tesla's not just a car company. You're really investing in a tech startup. Like, the tech startup part is really just wrapped under the envelope of a car company. So anyway, then there's some other talks about opening up the supercharger network, whether it's bringing the different charging adapters to Europe or over to the United States. Talks about how tunnels are underrated, and talks about how wonderful it is that really with tunnels you have a 3D space to operate in, right? Because if you dig down a mile, you could build tunnels on top of each other and horizontally. And with land, you can only build horizontally. I personally ran a campaign for governor on the platform that we should have tunnels in California, that we should connect the Los Angeles airport, downtown Los Angeles, downtown San Francisco, to suburbs, maybe an hour outside of the city, but then connect them with tunnels where vehicles could travel safely, maybe 100 miles an hour, so you could get into the city with a distance that would usually take an hour in 30 minutes. And then now you can build more affordable homes outside of the city, but still easily get people into the city. It's like, to me, it just seems like a no-brainer. They talked about how their proof of concept is working really well in Vegas, how they voted in Vegas to unanimously expand it. He also slammed on VTOLs, which I thought was really interesting. Vertical takeoff and landing, kind of like the little helis. He's like, look, we have helicopters. They make a lot of noise, and there's a quite high probability of some of these just falling out of the sky. So he was not very enthusiastic about this, especially privacy concerns. Does not seem like it's a motivator for him at all to get into these electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, at least not at this point. Basically, flying cars, not anytime soon. In 2020, you said if Tesla investors knew what you knew, investors would panic about the state of the company. And he talks about the state of the sheer number of problems that Tesla has had to solve and how he's still working sometimes countless nights and weekends without getting a lot of sleep to solve a lot of problems that Tesla still has. Even today, he's trying to help. which I thought was very fascinating because, we've kind of always thought that, okay, we know Elon has slept on the floor of the factories before, but what's keeping him up right now? Is it Twitter or still plans for Tesla? And I mean, my guess as an entrepreneur is both. You kind of move your attention between your different priorities. Many people have asked me, is that a bad thing for Tesla? Personally, I don't think so. It's if I were in Elon's shoes and people were like, are you going to get distracted and not be able to work on Tesla as much? I'd be like, are you serious? Anyway, so they kind of opened up the idea about maybe buying a mining company in the future, but highly rejected the idea of buying another car maker, which I've kind of agreed with this, that somebody asked me, I think it was in a course member live stream like 3 weeks ago, hey, what do you think about Tesla just buying like another automaker? Like, what is it? What's the Gores one? GGPI or whatever? I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you want lame-o models when you can make your own with the margins the way you have them? Like, why would you want somebody else's crap? Like, you just be bailing them out. That was sort of my response, and Elon kind of verified that. Now, this one kind of hit me personally because I've always had a dream that my children would work with me in the future with whatever I do. And so, he was asked, do you think your children will work at Tesla? And he says, my older kids wish to do their own thing, which I support. They want to make their own way in the world, which they do their own thing. And if they want to work at Tesla or SpaceX, I'd support them. But basically, if they're not interested, they want to do their own thing, fine. I'm all for that too, but that's also why I keep telling myself, like, well, if I have 10 kids, maybe there'll be a higher likelihood of my kids wanting to work with me. I don't know. I thought those were some pretty incredible questions. And some incredible insights as well. Like, it's quite exciting for me to see some of these things. So these are just some updates from Elon Musk. Honestly, everything I heard here just reiterates how bullish I am for Tesla. And I know I have to keep telling myself, like, Kevin, the market cap of Tesla could fall by like 50% and it'd still look like an expensive car company. And this is true. And honestly, it might happen. I've been joking with my JP Morgan banker, like, yeah, I'll call you tomorrow when it's at 600. I was doing that since it was, like, when it was 900. I'm like, I'll call you tomorrow when it's at 800. Went to 800. I'm like, I'll buy some more shares. And then I joked, I'm like, I'll call you tomorrow when it's 700. Then yesterday I talked to him, I'm like, I'll call you tomorrow when it's at 600. And today it went to 690. And I'm like, okay, damn, I gotta stop saying that. So, fair warning, I did not say, I'll call you tomorrow when Tesla's 500. But what I did say is, you should check out the programs on building your long-term wealth and take advantage of that expiring coupon code. Link down below. And folks, we'll see you in the next one. Remember, you get lifetime access to me in those courses, and you get first dibs on potential for a Series A that we've got coming up. That's a big deal. You want to be a part of that. Anyway, stay tuned. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next one.